Joining us now is Notre Dame's Keough-Hesburgh Professor of Global Affairs, Paul Winters. And Professor Winters, welcome to Notre Dame Day.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Thank you for being here. And you came to Notre Dame Day this past fall as the inaugural Keough-Hesburgh Professor of Global Affairs. So what drew you to the university and to the Keough School?
Well, the mission of the university is really important to me, and we just heard the Admiral talk about it, and that's a great draw for being at Notre Dame. In the Keough School as well, in the Keough School we talk about integral human development. As an economist, I know that it's very important to have income growth and people to be well off financially, but that's not enough. We need to have a broader view of what development is, and the school has put that front and center, which is very important. It's consistent with the mission of Notre Dame, and I really like the fact that it's just starting up. There's an opportunity for it to grow, to move in important directions. So to participate in that is just great. So I'm very happy to be here.
There is a lot of opportunity there, and I know that you oversee the Sustainable Development Concentration for the Keough School's Master of Global Affairs program. And what do students learn in this concentration? How are they equipped to make a difference in the world?
Right. So one of the challenges in working in development is we have these bigger concepts, to end poverty, to end hunger, to get people education, health, to work and make sure we improve the lives of women. And we have to learn all of these bigger concepts, but the challenge is taking those concepts from the 30,000 feet level down to the 300 feet level, and to make sure that we apply them on the ground. So what we're trying to do here at the Keough School is teach those bigger concepts, as I said, around integral human development, about the importance of dignity in development, but at the same time make it very practical. So we have things like the integration lab, where the students learn how to design projects and do on the ground work, but trying to always keep in mind those bigger concepts, the really important things that we're trying to do, and to learn skills that allow you to do that, quantitative skills, skills in designing projects, all of those types of things with that bigger picture in mind at all times. So that's the main focus we're trying to have.
And some of the major issues that you work on, food insecurity and rural development. So you focus on that. And how did you get into that field? How have you seen the impact of food insecurity on a global scale?
Well, I got interested in development because I grew up on the border. I grew up in San Diego. I went to University of San Diego, and I started spending weekends in Tijuana my junior year, and wondered why was there such disparity between Tijuana and San Diego. And it slowly got me into classes that were doing this kind of thing. And one of the things you find pretty quickly is that if you're interested in issues of poverty and food security, the majority of the poor and the hungry in the world are in rural areas. And so you're kind of driven to areas of rural, where there's rural people, because that's where the biggest problem, about 3/4 of the poor in rural areas. And so from there, you start getting interested if the rural areas are dominated by agriculture, by rural development issues. And so I started moving into those areas, ended up getting my PhD in agriculture and resource economics at Berkeley, and have been focusing on that since then. But really to drive an agenda to deal with poverty and hunger in the world.
Yeah, in rural areas, it is so important to focus on that. And what role does the data have to play in some of those development efforts?
We want to, data is important for two things. One is to monitor what's going on. So we have our big objectives in the world, sustainable development goals. And we need to know, are we making progress towards those goals? Are we moving in the right direction? In which countries are we moving in the right direction? Within countries, are there areas that are worse off than others? So the data helps us figure out whether we're on the right path for issues like poverty and food insecurity and education and health. And so we want to monitor what's going on. But there's a whole other aspect that's really important, is we also need to know what works. And so we really need to have data on interventions. So if we want to go into a rural area and we want to link poorer farmers to a high value market, we need to know if that works and it's going to be successful and achieve our objectives. So we also need a lot of data on whether projects are achieving their objectives or not. So that data kind of plays that two roles. So knowing what's going on, but also knowing what works. Like, does a vaccine work? Does an intervention that is trying to end poverty, does it work or not?
Professor, you are doing so much to try to tackle some of these real world problems impacting so many people in our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you.